Welcome to the F3 podcast, where we discuss all things that pertain to faith, family, and finances. And remember, no subject is off limits. We got a good one for you today. We are your hosts. I'm Dr. Lionel M. Blair Sr., and I'm sitting next to the delicious,
Stop.
the wonderful, the glorious, the wonderful, sainted mother herself, Saint Jasmine the First, Dr. Jasmine Blair.
Welcome, everybody, to the F3 podcast. This is your first time with us. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Hit the notification link so you'll be notified every time we premiere a new episode. And be sure to take us with you on the go. You can find us everywhere where your favorite audio podcasts are streamed. Check out the links in the description box and the show notes, and you'll find different links for how you can stay connected to us and some of our other products and services that we have to offer. And to find out more about how you can support the podcast or suggest a topic for a future episode, be sure to click that link. So we've got a good topic today. This is one that's probably going to ruffle some feathers, but this is definitely a needed conversation to be had. We're going to talk about the state of Black America.
Black
And, to all our
America.
vanilla cream and toasted almond friends out there, we're not particular about any type of people or any type of color that you are, but this is the topic today that is not off limits, because we have a crisis on hand.
Yes, we do.
We've got a crisis on hand. There's a lot of different things being said about whose fault it is, whose fault it isn't. So we're really going to just have a candid conversation about the state of Black America. So I'm gonna kick this over to you to get it started. What would you say, if you could sum it up in a sentence or two, what would you say is the current state of Black America?
Well, it's scientifically proven that trauma or the effects thereof can be passed down generationally. And a lot of times we struggle with things as a result of things that we did not initially go through. And I think that's one of the things that Black people are dealing with. We're still dealing with the traumatic effects of slavery.
Mm-hmm.
And then just to learn how we got here and what was done to us when we got here,
Right.
and what it take to get us to get us free. And then the fact that you still got people in America that still feel like we should be back in the slave days. Okay, and then dealing with pockets of systematic racism, because the system overall is not racist. If it was, then there wouldn't be Black millionaires and billionaires.
Right.
Okay, so let's dispel that myth of systematic racism. There's pockets of it in different places, and you can't magnify your experience and make it for everybody, you know, or make it applicable to everybody, because it didn't happen to everybody. All right. I think that we're still dealing with the traumatic effects of slavery. And if you read Willie Lynch's letter,
Mm-hmm.
just the formula he laid out about how to keep us in line, he did one of the main tools that he used was division to keep us in line.
Mm-hmm.
So now this is why you got more Black folks divided than any other race.
Mm.
I rarely see Mexicans fighting each other.
Come on.
I mean, you see some white folks fighting each other, but not all the time. you know, you know, uh, 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 and every race has their issues.
Right.
All right, but we talking about Black folk today. All right, we do more infighting than anything else. We want to talk about white on Black crime or police officers killing Black people. More Black people kill Black people than
police officers.
than police officers. That is a statistical fact. All right, look it up for yourself. You got more Black people killing Black people, and that's why, I get on the hypocrisy of my own race.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because y'all marching for when a white cop kills a Black man, but you don't march when a Black man kills a Black man. You're a hypocrite, and you don't really care about your race. You just hate white folk. What is this? So when it comes to this, we have to deal with the slavery effect, okay, of of Black people. and that's just how it is. So we have to deal with the division amongst ourselves. And I'm not saying become this solely. I'm not trying to militarize black folk. Let me put it this way.
Right.
I'm not trying to militarize black folk, but we do need to come together as a unit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we do. We need to stop hating on each other. You know, we should know what it's like to be oppressed, or at least our people do. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I remember my great grandmother. She used to work for rich white people, but they was nice to her though. They loved her. They was very nice to her.
Mm-hmm.
They treated her well. Matter of fact, they became friends of our family.
Wow.
So it was just a pleasant and a joy to see that, but everybody didn't have that experience.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody didn't have that experience. So when it comes to the state of Black America, I think Black America needs to realize where we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're not we're not even back in Martin Luther King's days anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We're not fighting for rights anymore. We got our rights. Okay. We just need to learn the laws and enforce them.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? We are in the best place we've ever been as a race, and we're still whining about what happened to us. Now, what happened to us was an injustice, and I believe America owed Black people. I believe America owed Black people and Native American people.
Mm-hmm.
But mainly Black people, because Native American people, they got their reservations. Okay, we still waiting on our 40 acres and a mule. Yeah, we still waiting on. Okay, but in the midst of that, what if you don't get that? Then what? What you gonna do? Sit around and keep whining? You know, I'm tired of Black folks whining
Mm-hmm.
when we got all the opportunities in the world that everybody else has.
Right.
You know, and guess what? Even if somebody decides to try to be racist towards you, you got the law on your side.
Yeah.
You can sue them jokers. Okay? You can sue them jokers. You can come together and make a difference. You know, so when it comes to the state of Black America, I think that it's time for us to grow up beyond slavery now. I'm not saying forget what happened. I'm not saying that. All right. But you take what happened and the progress we made and take it further. That's all I'm saying. Take it further. You know. So yeah.
You know, and it's a good conversation to have. And
Yeah.
the thing that I like to keep in mind that people need to understand is while we have different ethnicities and different backgrounds, race in itself is a social construct. I mean, if we're going to look at different types of people, all of us are 99% the same. All of
Yep.
us. And you know, I find it ridiculous when I hear Black people say things like, oh, well, Black people can't be racist. You know, we don't have enough wealth and power to be racist. If you despise somebody because when you look in the mirror, the amount of melanin in their skin is different from yours, you're racist.
You're racist.
And that
they go for anybody.
You can be racist. And the problem is we have a lot of Black people that are racist that hide it under the guise of, well, this is for the cause and the struggle. No, you're racist. You have an issue with people who don't look like you because of whatever opportunities you feel that they had that you didn't. And let's say maybe initially they had certain opportunities that you did. You're grown now. Just like you can come from nothing and make yourself powerful, of status, of wealth, of success, you can come from a home like that and still end up in jail somewhere and still end up homeless on the curb. It's all about choices and decisions.
Yeah, I've met rich white crackheads.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, I met this one guy when I was younger. You know, his parents was rich, rich. He out here trying to be hard, hanging with Black folks selling dope.
Dumb.
And that boy was facing life in prison because the police pulled him over and he had a bunch of dope in his trunk. Your parents are multi-freaking millionaires. Y'all live in the best neighborhood and you trying to act hard.
Dumb.
There's a lot of them that want to be like us too. You know, you made some very valuable points there. You know, you don't have to, yeah,
Yeah, there's more. Like I said, it's all about a choice.
a
And the
choice.
first thing that we have to do is decide to make the choice with what we have available to
That's right.
us. Okay, you might not have access to certain education initially. You may not have access to this or that, but I tell you what, you do have access to a public library, and most of y'all don't even have a library card. There are books at the library, there are magazines, there's computers, there's encyclopedias. You may not have the money to access certain things, but you can go to the library for free 99. You can do research. You can go there. If you have a bank account anywhere, most banks at least offer mortgage lending classes, savings classes, investment classes. You go to that stuff. There's a lot of free information that you don't even take advantage of. So if you're not going to take advantage of free information and free access to what you have, how in the world are you going to complain about a paid opportunity you feel like should be owed to you when you won't even maximize a free opportunity?
Hmm.
See, many people complain about, I find a lot of Black people, we complain about the problem, but we don't actually look at the solution.
Right.
Because we have a problem and we want to protest and we want somebody else to answer our problem.
Right.
But we don't want to deal with the fact, hey, I can't do this, but this is what I can do. There are more Black people going to college and starting businesses
For
today
real.
than there have ever been. Black women in particular are the fastest growing group of educated individuals ever. There's a lot of Black success. There's a lot of Black excellence, as they call it. There's a lot of Black money, a lot of money flowing and circulating within the Black community.
Right.
But it's all about what you do with it. If you're going to keep looking and saying, well, that's not fair because I didn't get to do this, I didn't get to do this. I mean, there are stories now. I saw the other week, a guy, he was living a rough life, in gangs and stuff. He went to jail, got out of jail when he was 40. And by the time he was 48, he was almost a millionaire. Started to clean his life up, went and got educated, went to the free classes they had for ex-cons, got educated, got his GED, started a business. I mean, these things are possible.
Yeah.
They're possible. But see, it starts in the mindset. And that's why I love this. It starts in the mindset, because if you are not going to get there here, you're not going to get there any other way. And the first thing that you have to do is stop hanging around people, friends, family, associates, whoever, that are still addicted to the mentality of the Black struggle. You can't keep hanging around those people and think you're going to get somewhere.
Right.
And it doesn't mean that you love them any less. It doesn't mean you don't care about them. But you have to get to a place to where you stay away from them long enough to become something that no longer identifies with them. If you're going to look like, we love to say, oh, you are, watch the company you keep. Bad company corrupts good character.
Yeah.
But impoverished company corrupts a wealthy mindset.
It does.
Because before you get to where you're going, it starts in your mindset. Watch this. So if you are talking to people who are addicted to the Black struggle, who don't think it's fair, who feel that they're entitled and the world owes them something, every time you talk about your dreams, it's going to be like talking to a brick wall. Because they're going to continue to echo, watch this, all the bad and negative things that could possibly happen. Why your dream doesn't work, why you'll never get there because you're Black, and you will be encompassed in this place. And it's a crab mentality. It's designed to keep you right where they're at. Because a lot of people psychologically, they have a hard time trying to envision somebody that they grew up with, somebody they went to school with, somebody they was on the block with, changing their life and being successful and now being rated at a status that's above them.
Come on.
So it's easier to talk down to what you're trying to do, even in the guise of, wisdom and being wise and, managing stuff and being responsible. Don't you know success is spelled RISK? You have to take a risk in order to get there. Otherwise, you'll never do it. it's better to try at something and fail than have never tried at all, because that one time you might have actually been successful. But because you let people talk you out of it, because, oh, I still got to go see my mom and them. No, you don't need to go back to see anybody until you've achieved what it is that you left from them to get in the first place.
Come on.
Going back to see them is only slowing down your progress. Going back to see them is only reinforcing the fears that you're already battling every day.
Come on.
Going back to see them is only putting you right back around the same negativity that you're trying to change from, and be an example that life doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
Doesn't mean you don't love people. You can't check on them. You can't mail them something. But you don't need to be going back and sitting in the company of negativity, the company of Black struggle, the company of the world owes us something, the company of all white people out to get us. That stuff is ridiculous. You know, and I tell many people, I've experienced the most discrimination in my life from other Black people.
Come on.
From other Black people.
For real.
You know how many Black people got angry because I decided I didn't want to go to a historically Black college? I'm like, can we be glad that I actually want to better myself? Can we be glad that I want to do something different? Why you want to go there with all them white folk? Because of that right there.
Right.
You know, if you want to go to a HBCU, that's great. But I knew that wasn't the environment for me. First of all, you know, we got this whole thing about having a Black card. I probably don't even have one because I don't identify with a lot of what people consider to be Black. And the problem is, and we can take this in many, many different aspects.
Yeah.
Because you even have a lot of women who dismiss a lot of good Black men. Oh, ain't no good Black men left. No, there's not a bunch of good Black men that fit that thuggish, roughneck demeanor, that stereotype.
Right.
A lot of good Black men are what we consider to be geeks or nerds or in the anime. They have other interests that do not fit this thug life struggle that, truthfully, powerful people have pushed on the Black community to keep us bound.
Right.
All of that is marketing, but that's another conversation for another day. So we dismiss a lot of good Black men because they don't fit this thug struggle. Then we get mad when they go marry somebody outside of their race. Why they don't want a Black woman? Because y'all don't want him anyway. Y'all think he's weird. Y'all think he's a nerd. Y'all think he's this and that because he's not walking around with his pants hanging off his butt trying to shoot somebody up saying he from the block.
Or he don't have this toxic masculinity display,
which is really inferior masculinity.
acting like a gorilla, acting like a wannabe alpha male,
right?
Gorilla beating your chest. That ain't what an alpha male is.
No, not at all.
You understand? There's a difference between being an alpha male and a toxic male.
We're gonna save that. That's for a whole seminar.
Yeah.
But so y'all want somebody to look like these videos and these movies that have been put in front of us that says this is what a Black man is, and from being from the streets, and then you get mad when they marry somebody else that actually is excited about the fact that they're educated, that's excited about the fact that they don't want to be on the block.
Right. Don't no real man worth his salt want to tie his assets to some ghetto acting, belligerent somebody.
No.
Don't nobody want to tie their assets to that.
No, that is a liability.
That's why either they're gonna make you sign a prenup, or instead of going through all that trouble, they just gonna marry somebody that's gonna complement what they're doing
and understands the purpose of building assets.
Yeah.
Building assets is a lot easier and a lot more peaceful than out here hollering and protesting in these streets, hoping that the government gonna give you something.
For real. And speaking of that, speaking of government giving you something, you already know where I'm going with this. See black our minds. Oh my God! Like, yeah, America do owe us something, but America owe us a whole hell of a lot more than food stamps.
That part,
welfare, and all of that kind of stuff. They owe us a whole lot more than that. You understand? And for us to sit around, you know, and just expect handout after handout.
Yeah.
So much to play. We vote for handouts now.
Mm.
You know, I was told growing up, you know, because I never voted until the last election, because I didn't see the need for it until this last, well, these last two elections. I'll say it like that. But I was told growing up, if you're gonna vote, you vote Democrat because Democrats are for the black people,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm just like, you know, because my grandmother used to always try to get me to vote.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, she's like, you need to vote. I'm like, no, I'm not voting. I just didn't want to get in the middle of all that,
Right.
you know. But then, as I began to wise up over the years, I discovered that the Democrats was the ones who had the slaves.
Mm.
The Republicans was the one who freed the black people. Now I ain't telling you who to vote for, but I'm just saying, use your brain. You can't go by what people tell us.
That's it.
Cause see, I noticed one party want to give you handouts to kind of keep you in line, you know.
And some of the first black politicians were actually Republicans.
See, you don't study. So,
but anyway,
again, we didn't tell you who to vote for. We just giving facts. Okay, we just giving
a
facts.
Conversation.
Because see, we yeah. So black folks don't read nothing either. They don't like to read nothing. But anyway, so or at least listen. You got YouTube now. You got audio books. At least listen. Listen, Linda, listen. Anyway, so you got one party who gives, and it's really scraps. It's really scraps. It's almost insulting. They give you just enough to keep you in line.
That part.
And to maintain your vote.
That.
And then you have another party that says, hey, scratch all that. We'll make it to where you can get a job.
Mm-hmm.
We'll make it to where you can provide for yourself and work on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, instead of sitting around sucking up government benefits, you can actually go out and make a difference in society. So we're gonna give you a fair chance to do that.
Right.
But no, we like handouts. We feel like something's owed to us, which technically it is, but they don't guarantee you're gonna get it, especially in this generation. We almost had it till you voted the wrong president in.
Yep.
Yeah, we was about to. Ice Cube met with President Trump about the platinum plan, and really, we was about to get reparations.
That's true.
Literally, we was about to get reparations, but black folks so brainwashed they couldn't even see that. So now everything that's going, all that stuff going in the foreign aid and all these trillions of dollars, which I don't know what
that oil, while these gas prices is through the roof.
Right. So now all that money is going to another agenda. Another agenda.
Like that meme I saw on social media said, all I know about January 6th is I filled my tank up for $20.
Right. For real. And see, this is what I'm saying. Like it's bigger than Democrat versus Republican.
Right.
But you got to recognize, like, the party that you've been voting for, black folk, what have they really been doing for you? Mm-hmm. Other than giving you handouts and keeping you in line and stuff like that. Listen, you really want to empower people, give them the tools to build.
Exactly. Then black people say that's not fair. We just want to hand it to us. And that's what we have to get out of this mindset. Regardless of what somebody else does or doesn't have, we have to get out of this mindset of always saying it's not fair. If we have the tools, well, by default, they have more tools because they're white. By default, they have more tools because they came from money. Well, I'm black and a woman, so that makes me disadvantaged. We got to come out of these stupid mentalities that say that we have to work twice as hard for everything. Now, you might have to do that in certain spaces in corporate America, and that's a different conversation for a different day.
Yeah,
but when you step out and start on your own, you don't have all of that.
Right.
You've got to get to a place where you're willing to use the tools and the opportunities you do have to build the life that you want. to build the reality that you want to see. You tired of your job? You don't have to work there. Now, it might be wise for you to find another one or start a business first, but you have options. You tired of how they treat you at the store? You don't have to shop there. You tired of your neighborhood? You don't have to live there. It's all about you. Instead of focusing on your limitations, you've got to learn to focus on your possibilities.
Right. You got to seal. First of all, they act. A lot of black people act like there's no way out. And that is an illusion. And look, that is a lie.
Here you go. Or the only way out is basketball, football, dropping an album.
Right. Right. For real. And see.
Or being somebody's pastor.
And that ain't even the way out. Because most of these pastors broke. Most of these pastors broke out here, okay?
We feel like we gotta, and it's sad. We feel like we have to use our talents and our bodies in a way to get us out of the struggle. Yes, everybody's gifted and talented, but there's a lot of politics that even goes on in the sports arena as well.
Oh God, yeah.
And for people to have to play those types of games, not the sport, but the game. Yeah, if you know, if you got to play those types of games just to be able to get a paycheck to make it out the struggle, go do something else. Yeah. Go do something else.
And then when it comes to the rap, the music industry as a whole, I've watched some videos too. Like a lot of those guys, they just starting to wise up now over the years. While a lot of artists are going independent, and they don't guarantee you're gonna make it independent either. But a lot of these people, they try to get out of these slave contracts now.
Yeah, and a lot of people are more successful. The truth is, if you're really talented, then you can make it independent. Yeah. A lot of these people today, in my opinion, they're what I call industry plants. They just make them sound good and give them a look. It's a whole marketing scheme. Music don't even sound good, but people are buying it.
And there's a lot of people blowing the whistle too about the contracts, the satanic stuff, some of the oaths they got to make, and all this other stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on up in there. So yeah, you don't have to do all of that. First of all, follow the pattern of other successful people, whether they black or white.
That part.
Follow the success of other black people, because most people that became rich were first poor.
And most people are not laying in their bed out to think about how they're gonna come get you. Nobody's out to get you. Nobody's out to purposely keep you down and keep you from succeeding. No. That's just silly. Ain't nobody think about you.
No. You're not making enough waves like that.
No.
Now if you was making enough waves, that'd be a different conversation. But you ain't making no waves like that. Okay. I always say it like this. I'm not insensitive to the black struggle, but however, black people need to level up. Black people need to level up in their minds. And sometimes, in order for us, and see, this is why a lot of black men, they marry people outside their race, because sometimes us folk are so toxic.
And I've noticed that, and I know we've had this conversation. A lot of people, black men as well as black women, that are for black success, that are for black people coming out of the black struggle. It was like, okay, well, why are these people married to white people? Because first of all, there's not even a lot of black people in that space, but there's so much toxicity. And so, I mean, I've talked to black people. I don't even want to marry a white person because I feel like they still not going to understand me. What? It's crazy out here. It's crazy out here. So sadly, even though they want to see black success, even though they're for black families, black educations, black generational wealth, unfortunately, it's hard for them to really find people in their space that are on the same page. And so they end up with somebody who may be of another ethnicity, but with the same mindset that they're for success for all, no matter what you are.
Right. God is not just a black God. Okay. Jesus said, my house should be called a house of prayer for all nations, not just black nations. So I believe that you can listen, there's something you can learn from other races. I admire Mexicans. You want to know why I admire Mexicans? They come over here, you know.
Hispanics.
Well, Hispanics. Excuse me. I admire Hispanics. They'll come over here. They'll all pile up in one house. It'd be like 5, 10 of them in one house. Okay, and they'll all go out and get jobs. They come all and put their money together. You understand what I'm saying? And then they'll start them a construction business or something, you know. And the next thing you know, their construction business is thriving because they all put in work together. They'll be all piled up in one car at first. Next thing you know, everybody's coming into their own.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can look at Orientals. You know, when they come, you know, it'd be one family running the store, and you know, some will live in the store, even though you know, in some places you're not supposed to do that. But they'll live in the store.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Next thing you know, this store thrive. Next thing you know, they got a chain of stores.
Yes.
Next thing you know, they got a chain of stores. It's hard for us folk to do anything like that because we can't work together. We can't work together. And us folk, a lot of times, we'll be so toxic that we can't work with each other. We got to work with someone else outside of that whole circle.
That's true.
You understand? You know, as a black man, I've had the most trouble out of black people. You want to know who? You want to know who gave me some of the greatest chances and opportunities? You want to know who's been the greatest blessing to my life, ministry, and marriage? You want to know who looked out for me the most?
Vanilla ice cream.
I love white people. I love y'all. Okay. You white people has been some of the greatest blessings to my life, family, and ministry. Okay. It was the black folks trying to tear me down.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Did you hear what I say? It was the black folk trying to tear me down. It was the black folks that spread lies, rumors, and gossip about me.
Come on.
It was the black folks that stole from me.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Yeah. It was the black folk that tried to sabotage me. Come on now. It was the black folks who tried to uncover me when I covered them. I ain't get that from the white people. No. It was the white folk who stayed loyal to me for the most part. Because, you know, everybody's got their own issues. But for the most part, white folk. Some of the greatest friends and colleagues I have are white. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Why is that? It's something in our genes, black folk. It's something in our genes, man. I'm trying to tell you, we need to get delivered. We need to get delivered, and we need to get delivered from this. See this?
Oh, that's a good book.
The Negro Bible, the Slave Bible. Okay. And by the way, that ain't the whole Bible. See what it did was they took all the scriptures out. Yeah. So like when we had religion, when we had religion and Christianity, this is the version of Christianity our ancestors had.
So everybody say Christianity is the white man's religion. No.
It's this version.
That version was
this version is the white man's religion. Because see, they took out, and I think it started in the West Indies too. And we'll probably teach on how they did all this.
Yeah, that's for a whole different setting.
Yeah, but
Ethiopia clearly has a different version of Christianity than what's in there, and that was before the Atlantic slave trade.
Ethiopia Christianity thrived in Ethiopia, and it's still thriving in Ethiopia. Christianity thrived in Ethiopia um, way before the transatlantic slave trade.
Right.
Matter of fact, speaking of black folk, it were black folks who sold other black folks to white folk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when
Everybody wasn't stolen now.
everybody was stolen. We were sold. We were sold by our own kind from the beginning.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? Since why people want you to be loyal to the black struggle and all that. You're a darn idiot. I almost cuss. You're a darn idiot. You understand what I'm saying? I love black people, but see, first of all, we need to deal with this black religion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a lot of times the reason why you are oppressed because you're not sitting under a word that liberates you. You're sitting under a word to still keep you in line. That's why y'all still singing them slave Negro songs years later. That's why y'all still love the black. See, some of y'all need to be delivered from black church.
Yep.
So all that hooping and that's plantation preaching. Say yes, say yeah. Ow. That's plantation preaching. Yeah. All that came from slavery. You need to divorce the effects of slavery. All the stuff that our ancestors did to cope with the conditions that they sat in, you need to divorce it. Huh? Mm. And that's Negro Bible. They took all the matter of fact, half the Bible was taken out. Half of it. Because the vast majority of the scriptures deal with being liberated. So anything that they took out the part where they took out all parts where they told you to rise up against oppressors. Mm. They took out that part. But we still have the remnants of that kind of religion today.
Exactly.
And then when people break away from it, you want to call them witches, warlocks, strange, new age, all this other stuff. You want to label them on all this other stuff. You label them all this other stuff. But one thing you can't say, we ain't free.
Uh-oh.
Huh? Stuff designed to keep you in line.
Exactly. So any closing remarks on the state of Black America? What do you think people need to do now?
We need to study freedom.
That's good.
Study what it's like to be free. And that guess what? Being free may mean not being black in struggle.
Oh.
Now you can't change the skin you in. And I love the skin I'm in. I wouldn't change my, people be bleaching their skin. I ain't doing all that. Mm-mm. I love my skin. I love being black. I look good being black.
I'm brown.
Well, you know what I mean. But at the same time, you have to study being free. And being free may mean you not being traditionally black.
That's good. I like that.
Even our food is slave food a lot of times. Soul food, as good as it is, guess what, baby? We had to make a meal out of scraps. Mm. Chitlins, hog maws, pig ears, and tails, and all that other stuff.
High blood pressure, diabetes, glaucoma, colon cancer.
And see, that's another podcast. We got to talk about the diet of Black people.
Yes, indeed.
Because a lot of that stuff came from slavery as well.
Well, we want to definitely thank you guys for joining us on this episode of the F3 Podcast. Be sure to stay connected to us. Follow us on IG at King and Queen Blair. Yes. And until next time on the F3 Podcast, goodbye.